Hello and welcome back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Well, last time we finished up the first case of the game, which was the Adventure of the Great Departure, which was a fantastic opening to the game. It may have dragged on a little bit too long, but by and large, the characters were great, the story was great, just all around was a fantastic opening case. And today we are going to continue our adventures with the second case of the game, the Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band, which might just be the longest case chapter title in the entire series. So can't wait to try to cram that into a YouTube video title. Okay, well, without further ado, let's get started with episode 2. Or, okay, I guess there's 6 chapters to choose from. Let's start from the opening.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Okay then. That is one way to open things up. Okay. Oh, I didn't read that. I didn't skip that. That did it by itself.
Let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait!
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What?
Don't be absurd. This is murder. An in-cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Yes, I have indeed heard of you. Trust me. That name is so stupid. I can't believe that is the thing that held this game back from being localized for years. That's the thing that prevented this game. Okay, can I read the history, please? Because I didn't get to read that. The thing popped up on screen, and then the next second it was gone. January 9th, 6:37 a.m., on board the steamship Buria. Okay. Oh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Also, I guess we're just on a boat, so I'm assuming we went with Kazuma to the to England. I'm assuming, because I can think of no other reason why we just be randomly thrust onto a boat. Wait, I can't move. Oh, what the? Why am I in handcuffs? You're gonna be accused of. Are you gonna be the Maya Fey of this game? Accused of another murder in a row? Oh, good lord. Who? Okay, random sailor. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. Da, we found you, and now you pay. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, Sorry.
Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is,
No, I'll tell you everything. Now who? Isn't that? Oh, hey there, partner. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Misusatu. Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? I'm missing critical information. I did pick the right chapter, right? Because I selected I selected episode 2 and then I picked the opening. I didn't skip something, right? Because we've just been thrust into the middle of a situation that I seem to be missing critical context clues for. Where is he? Where's Kazuma?
Ha! You pretend you do not know? You are a wolf and the sheep's pet. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses.
Oh, don't tell me Kazuma's dead. What? No. Already? Are you kidding me? We just started. Wait a minute, isn't this prick on the cover of the damn game? This prick's on the cover of the goddamn game. Wait a minute here. Alright, look at this game right here. See this game right here? None of these characters die. None of them. None of those characters die. Spoiler alert. None of them die. They all live to see the end of the day, at the end of the trilogy. He's right there. He's right there. That's him. He occupies an uncomfortable amount of that box, of that cover art, considering the fact that he's... What? Wait. It's been like 5 minutes and my brain's already broken. Wait a minute. What is... His body?
Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep.
Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma's sounds? How could I... Okay, riddle me this, Batman. How exactly do you think... Okay, so Mr. Airlock Sholmes had to pull off a seal, like a sticker thing, to open up the wardrobe. How exactly could I have possibly placed that sticker from the inside of the wardrobe if I was the killer? How could that have possibly worked? Answer me, please. No. No! Okay, like, you know how... I'm sorry, I'm not over this. You notice how Mia Fey is not on this cover art? Yeah, there's a reason for that. I am dumbstruck by this turn of events. Kazuma! It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Or would we get in trouble?
Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study?
It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that the Russian crewmen just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die.
Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look.
Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken nearly every bone in my body.
Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain, but if you confine yourselves in my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you.
I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway.
They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure.
What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady?
From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotaba, you mean?
From your close friend, more to the point. I don't believe she'd give me away.
No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this.
I suppose so.
Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze.
Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it.
Stop worrying. I tell you what. Why don't you write "keep bad" or something on this piece of paper?
What?
Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside.
I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. My brain is spiraling right now. I have no idea what the hell's going on. We jumped forward to January now. We're on a boat to Great Britain. Freaking Kazuma's dead. Susato hates us. Airlock Sholmes is on the damn boat. We're accused of murder again. What is happening? We just started. What? Huh? I did start from the beginning of this chapter, right?
Murderer!
No, I'm not a murderer.
Die, you said before. You said you meant everything about the crime.
No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend?
No one else could have done it. Admit the truth.
What? What do you mean? I literally could not have done it. I could not have sealed myself inside the wardrobe. Susato-san, please, tell me what happened. Very well, but there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Ah, those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Yeah, can I get details, please? Like, just even one detail will be good. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream? And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? I think she means it was locked from the inside. There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? Well, I can start by saying that I couldn't have sealed myself inside, so someone else had to have put me in here. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me! The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died, even with airlock Sholmes on the case. The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then? That's true, yes. My brain, I can't. I have too many questions. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please, whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Yes, but I literally could not have sealed myself inside the freaking inside the cabinet. Well, yes, I was, but he would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage, but this morning he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at this cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewmen forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. My head feels so heavy, it's still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I, that you ought to become a lawyer yourself?
Well, yes, you did say that, but I don't think you were serious.
You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that.
But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer.
Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of this world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there?
Well, no, definitely not.
But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then
Then what?
nothing. Forget it.
Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing, that he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe, but something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then, it was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san, I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expected he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. I didn't want to hit this. Oh, don't make me listen to all that again. I didn't want to. I didn't. Try this again, shall we? If you're not the culprit, then tell me, what happened last night here in this cabin? How would I know? I've been shoved in the cabinet the whole time. Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep? Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament, and for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me, I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there was no one else who could possibly have done this. I couldn't have done it either. I literally couldn't have possibly done this. I was sealed inside the wardrobe. Kazuma, I don't understand why. Why did this have to happen? Aha! I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow this to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Oh dear. Oh, what the? That was a Susato takedown. Oh my. Oh dear lord. Oh good lord almighty. She's a martial arts master. Yeah, you better not piss her off, buddy, or else you're gonna get your neck snapped in half next time. Susato, what? What martial art form is that? I believe it's her own martial art form. It's called the Susato form. I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. Okay, how about the fact that I was sealed inside the wardrobe? Let's start there. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I'll have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Yeah, the paper seal that you couldn't possibly put on by yourself. Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah! Yes, of course! The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he... before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up?
On the list of things I expected to happen today, getting drop-kicked by Susato was not anywhere on the list.
Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you, to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death.
I get the sense that this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship, and oh. Okay, this is the smallest thing in the world to point out, and you're gonna think it is the biggest nitpick in the world, and it absolutely is. But it's, so in the original trilogy, the exam was on the left, move was second from left, the talk button was second from the right, and present was last. These two are flipped around. It literally impacts nothing. It means nothing. But it's just not, I'm just gonna stop talking now. I'm used to it being the other way around. Anyway, let's not open the court record, please. There appears to have been a bit of an accident with the food down here.
That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it?
Yeah, not the time for this.
But did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate it at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which made it all the more for me. Oh no! Does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Ah, now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach.
Susato's growing on me. I mean, she never didn't grow on me. I was a fan of her pretty much the moment that we first started talking to her, but she's very quickly climbing the ranks of favorite assistants, and we've barely spent any longer than like a collective 5 minutes with her, so I'm impressed so far. Really, the character designs in general in this game are just really impressive so far. And the characters in general, character writing, character designs, they're top notch with the animations, fluidity, the writing to it all, just immaculate. I guess the most noteworthy thing to point out would be what the world happened here. There's a random gem on the ground. That is not a gem, never mind. It looks sparklier than that from a distance. And some scratch marks. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little netsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark beside it, what is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It's color brick, even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Intriguing. Now we get to look to the left and check out, I mean, we're already in there, no sense in checking the wardrobe again. I guess we can check at the desk and see if there's anything interesting over here. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma, he didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete, which means, what? He was in the middle of something? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! Again? What did you do this time? That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. Susato, we are investigating a murder scene. We are investigating his death. Literally any clue we can find is imperative right now.
But what if it's something important? Alright, I won't read it.
We're probably gonna read it at some point. You're only delaying the inevitable.
Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either, but in this case, isn't the need for clues more important?
Yes, it is. That's a great point you've made right there. We also appear to have hit a bit of some rocky waters if all the books toppled over.
The books have fallen over on the shelf, look! They've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well.
Oh yeah, I imagine we hit some rough waters and the books would have just toppled naturally. Kinda like in Investigations in Turnabout Airlines when we hit the turbulence and then the trophy came flying out of the glass case in the gift shop. Which, by the way, gift shop on an airplane, that was a game.
Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. Then perhaps... it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder?
And if you have to ask that question, the answer is inevitably yes.
Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess.
You and me either, Susato. You and me both. What is this thing supposed to be?
This is... yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying and they talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical.
The animation, I really can't get over. Like, I am in love with this game's animations. These are the most fluid and lifelike, like, human animations we've seen in the entire series so far. Like, it's mind-blowing to look at. I know it's the technical prowess, it's not the story, it's a silly thing to get hung up on, but just, it is so crazy to see how far we've come in terms of the technical capabilities of these games. The animations are so awesome.
Shall we give it a little try?
Yes. I see no Ace Attorney assistant, even in the Victorian era, is immune to the infamous Maya pose. Good God. Is this just like a law in Ace Attorney world? Is like if you're the protagonist assistant, you are required by law, by default, to do this pose? I think that's just the law. Emma did it, Trucy did it, Maya did it, Kay did a variation of it, Susato's doing it. It's just par for the course.
Yes, in the interest of cultural research, obviously.
Uh-huh.
I suppose nobody...
I didn't read that, hold on, what?
I suppose nobody comes for a lowly job...
no, you are not lowly. Please dispel with that train of thought right now. That is a nonsense train of thought to have. Don't let that racist asshole from the first case influence you at all. I swear to God, she is a racist. She's a terrible person, and she damn well better get her comeuppance by the end of this game. I'll tell you that straight right now. So please do not let her influence your train of thought. You are not. No, that's not how this works. You are not lowly.
No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy. That's all.
Yeah, seeing as there was a murder on the boat, you know, I think they might be a little bit preoccupied at the moment, but what do I know, am I right? So I'm noticing that there's, well, this to be a vent up here.
I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to, you're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that? I suppose. Maybe that's it.
What, the hell? You were hiding in the desk? Okay. I think the desk just opened up. I think there was a hidden compartment in the desk that just opened up and like he toppled out. Because if that's not the case, then he apparently, Mr. Airlock Sholmes has magical teleportation skills.
As far as I can tell, it looks like it might be European. Oh, how did he...
Is it time to finally meet him? Is it time to finally meet the man, the myth, the legend himself?
I've no idea who he is or how he got in here, but he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall.
I don't know why. I don't know why that reaction. Oh my god. That shouldn't have made me laugh, but it did.
No, understand, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
How could I not? How could I not know the man, the myth, the legend himself?
He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
I mean, come on. Ryunosuke, who wouldn't be uncontrollably excited to meet the man, the myth, the legend himself, Airlock Sholmes?
I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman on my sides and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do.
Okay, it's time. It's finally time to meet the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Airlock Sholmes.
Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Is he asleep?
Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation.
It's what now? It looks like you're just falling asleep.
Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best.
But I wanted to meet the man. Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ, okay. Ah! Oh, this music. Okay. I like it. I mean, it's no joking motive, but, you know, I like it. The music in this entire game so far is just as expected. It's been phenomenal. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Were you just waiting for the opportunity to jump scare us into out of our skin? Oh, dear.
Ah, I see. Fascinating.
Sorry, what do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me.
Oh, yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive.
Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Nope. That is not correct.
Sorry?
What? And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament.
Oh, well, that's true at least. But how?
How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining.
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
But of course, a great many things. Would you mind sharing some of them? There is the mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being, as you are, a merciless revolutionary.
You just 5 seconds ago, what? Pick a story and stick to it, please.
You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower.
What the hell are you talking about?
And when the bare-boned occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life to—
Literally, what the hell are you talking about, you crazy person?
Yes, I believe that surmises the facts beautifully.
Oh, is that what you just did? Oh, okay.
No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes.
Oh, okay. Okay, you keep telling yourself that, buddy. And just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you?
Certainly I am.
Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill! It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? That convinced you? That little speech by Mr. Crazy Pants over here convinced you that I'm the murderer? Really? After I just got done telling you how it literally couldn't have been me. Oh, okay. Okay, buddy. And you're plotting a revolution too. No, that's not. He literally pulled all that straight out of his asshole. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way not again. God damn it, you. Sorry, my throat just died. How many times are you gonna karate chop me into the next dimension? Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. I already did tell you everything. How many times do I have to tell you? This is ridiculous. Oh my dear God, is this gonna be a running gag? She just keeps karate chopping me into the next dimension. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh,
Forgive me. That's all it took to convince you. You are very easily persuaded, I've noticed. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head.
Ah, but was I not right?
No, you were not right. You could not possibly have been less right if you tried.
Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do...
Stop. No, don't say it again. Congratulations. That's one part of your 3-paragraph long spiel of wrongness that you got correct. Whoop-de-doo. You were 1% correct. But yes, maybe.
Ah, there you have it, you see.
What to make of that? I make it that you got accidentally correct 1% of the time. Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it a deduction. It's more plain observation.
Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right.
Oh, really? Because if we go based purely on that little spiel you just gave me, you were wrong 9 times out of 10, and you got accidentally correct once. Ah, I don't think you introduced yourself. Say it. Say it. Say your name. Say your name. Do it. Do it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see the beauty that is the name.
Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over.
Say it.
The inimitable Sherlock Sholmes.
Yeah, I want to you know what? No. Standing ovation. Standing ovation. I didn't want to open the stupid court record. Standing ovation. He deserves nothing less. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, the dumbest name on planet Earth, deserves nothing more than a standing ovation. Round of applause, everyone. I want to see a standing ovation, or at least as close as you can get to a standing ovation in the comments for the man, the myth, the legend, Sherlock Sholmes. So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. This is so stupid.
The very same, the inimitable, actual, real, true, legitimate Sherlock Sholmes.
Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Now, Haru-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him.
You're right. I think at this point, there's nobody in the world who doesn't know who Sherlock Sholmes is.
What planet am I living on, then? We must ask him what he's deduced. You're gonna trust his deductions. He will have worked at the entire case already, I'm sure. Yeah, he just bungled his deduction of me, like 2 seconds ago. How can you possibly trust what he has to say? Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Why, I have no reason to trust you for literally anything, but as long as we're here. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? How could you forget a name like Sherlock Sholmes? How could you possibly forget? You're German? Sherlock, was it?
No, I have no air. I mean, I have hair. Please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles, from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is. The Adventure of Sherlock Sholmes. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then?
Indeed I am.
And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think that you really are a detective?
Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for.
Yes, you are.
Your inference is backward.
That's just gonna hold up a giant mirror to what you just said there, buddy. Backward?
My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine.
You have a biographer, do you?
Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London.
I have some bad news for you, buddy. I'm about to drop a bombshell on you.
I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of the cursed royal crown.
Alright, so what poor sap did you throw in jail that didn't actually do it then? Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. I just feel bad for whatever poor sap he threw in prison for a crime he or she didn't commit. Because clearly he can't solve anything to save his life.
Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form.
I like your motive. I like what you're going for here. I like the concept of you being all about the logic. I get that. I respect it. Trust me. But you're bungling the execution in every way imaginable. You have no idea what you're talking about. A science?
Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture, fingernails, arm sleeves, furs in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. And as I demonstrated only a few short moments ago, how can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction. And fame, no, I'm gonna go, well, I guess 1 out of 3 ain't bad. You definitely don't have you don't have a turn for observation. You certainly don't have a turn for deduction. Fame, alright, you nailed that part, you got that one down, but it's 1 out of 3. That is what makes me the one and only, Sherlock Holmes. My god, this character. This man, he's even more awesome than I could have ever dreamed him. Have you managed to deduce anything about the particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Elementary, my dear Wilson. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. Okay, who are you, Maui? What can I say except you're welcome for the islands they pulled from the sea? Who has 2 thumbs and pulled up the sky? And all that? This guy. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. Yeah, thanks, we got that.
When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open.
And I concealed myself among their number, gaining an entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective, Sherlock Holmes, was on board. And the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, 2 facts were immediately apparent to me.
Oh really, 2 facts you say?
And what exactly are these 2 facts? Oh dear lord.
Mr. Sholmes, tell us please, what 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into the cabin this morning?
Ah, yes, but first, let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me.
Yes, I understand, but what were they?
Allow me to elucidate. The 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question,
Unless you're gonna tell me that they tried to escape through the air vent.
2. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance.
Hold on, Mr. Sholmes, what made you think the victim was Russian?
Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That is the Russian word for wardrobe.
Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
In their final moments, many find the native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian.
Kazuma was Russian, was he?
Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer, a certain Robert Guard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least.
Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly?
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian—
Oh my god, how many times do I have to go over this? I'm not a Russian revolutionary killer. Congratulations. Every word of that sentence is wrong.
Why is it that I'm Russian too?
I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people.
Greg, your memory's wrong.
Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea.
Oh my god, you, Susato. I know you're smarter than this. From the brief moments I've interacted with you, you clearly have a better head on your shoulders than this. Please, I beg of you, extract, come back from Dreamland. Come back from fangirl land of Sherlock Holmes. Come back down to earth, please. We dearly miss you.
And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong.
I took a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details, you see. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed.
Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this.
Like, I get that it's the same thing they did in the first game with Mia Fey, but I don't know, I guess I just wasn't expecting them to do it. Mainly because, again, Mia's not on the cover of the game. So I guess I just didn't think about it. Whereas this, like, he's right there. He's right there. Front and center on the cover of the damn game. I don't know, man.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes, thank you. I don't know that anyone would be alright after finding out that their best friend was murdered, but, you know, it's you to you, I suppose. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. That's not the... Oh, you're gonna get on my nerves. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, I don't speak Russian. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you concluded about me, I mean. And how utterly wrong they are. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah, yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads... Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night, the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma a Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian based because of what Kazuma-san wrote on the floor. Or that could just mean that he speaks Russian. It also could mean that, I don't know, maybe the message wasn't, if we're going to do a lost turnabout here, maybe the message wasn't actually written by him. Because why would he call out the wardrobe, considering that's where I was hiding? It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. And so you looked at that picture of him and thought it looked literally anything like me? One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man, just look at his face. Well, you are a fierce revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. You can't change your face. Oh my god, this man has his head shoved up so far up his ass. I don't think even surgery could fix it. Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination involving on the Crystal Tower? Yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all the particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters? I wonder. And what about the part where you said that I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place? Here, take the paper for yourself. As a little memento of this great deduction. There's nothing great about it. You could not be more wrong. How do you look at Ryunosuke and that creep in the photo, and you're like, yes, same person. Yep, my big brain plays on my part. Thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Oh boy, this is gonna be a doozy. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. Well, I guess we can examine it right now, since we may as well. Alright. Can one of you interpret it for me? This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think? She's very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. I'm glad you noticed this article. I'm glad you noticed the thing that I explicitly told you about 2 seconds ago. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, this Mr. Sholmes. I mean, he's literally right next to us, so I don't know. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubies, or whatever. I don't think that said rubies. I think it's something else. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, and I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susato-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of the Nova Beach Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry.
Yes, I'm not surprised.
The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay. Well, I guess that'll be important later.
Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim.
You forgot the victims. Oh my god, you're a great detective. Great detective over here.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim, in which I was definitely not asleep. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text.
London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Let me guess. He read it. He knows what he said, and then Susato's gonna be like,
oh, he figured out what he was talking about. Oh, he's so awesome.
and then at that point, that's when I jump. That's when I leave this room, go to the top deck, and jump into the ocean, and then just kind of chill. Just kind of chill until a shark finds me and eats me, because that's when I just give up. Is when that exact situation happens, and then I feel like committing the big die.
Tragic, and something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
You mean you read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is.
No, he's not.
Susato-san? Aren't you going to throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean?
Life is so unfair. Yeah, no. All right, so I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go top of the deck. I'm gonna jump out into the ocean and let the sharks eat me. Bye, guys.
Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely the diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed.
Ah.
But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters of which I can read precisely none. Ah ha 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 ha. Ah, funny, ha ha, I'm useless. So what was all of that showing off about before then?
If you would be so kind as to show me, I'd be happy to read it to you. Susato, you're killing me here. You're killing me, Smalls.
I'm much obliged, my dear madame.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound?
These are very deep waters. Pray go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? What on earth does that mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before.
The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yes, the adjoining cabin. I mean, I gathered that much, but oh boy, the hypocrisy.
So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least.
Ah, do you have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to?
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough.
Do you think perhaps that we could go with you?
No, that would be somewhat complicated.
What? But why?
A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer.
I already proved why I couldn't have done this.
Oh, these.
After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter.
I already proved to you why I couldn't have been the one to do this.
How did I lock myself inside the wardrobe? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was a culprit in the first place, based on the shoddiest bullshit imaginable. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. You just... Actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. Finally. Even for the fangirl over here was too much for her to take before she was like, yeah, she kind of did say that. I can't defend this. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know? Not really. So what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. But anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Why is this man? This man is a cartoon. He can't be real. This man does not exist. He's too much of a legend. I can't. Now he's just being plain rude. Oh my dear lord, what have I gotten myself into here? And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Now, Hodo-san, what are you just standing there for? You must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? Hi-ya! Oh, don't tell me you can just... After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moment struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You just go... Okay, I thought she was going to karate chop the handcuffs in half, and to which one I was going to say no. No, you did not just do that. You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? Ugh, as if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for the chance to slip next door. Good idea. The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Oh, dear lord. Sherlock Sholmes is a living legend. I mean, I feel like we've already checked out everything. Can we just leave? When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small boat and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. Unless you're gonna tell me that someone crawled through the vent, in which case, oh boy. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. Oh, really? I hadn't noticed. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh? Oh, look over there. The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'd likely to get yelled at again, but I suppose I could try. Okay, hey, new sailor, please be nicer than the old sailor, because the old sailor is kind of a meanie head. Is something wrong now, Hodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that the crewman's standing by the door. I kind of have a feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Oh, is it going to be the inspector from the restaurant? Yes, what can I do for you? Hey, Inspector Hasunaga! I recognize that face, but it can't be. Yep, it's him, alright. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hasunaga! The music is so good. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew on board this ship. Again? You still don't seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board, but perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry.
Huh?
Let me guess, sworn to secrecy?
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what?
My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard.
It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. He entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How could that have even been a possibility? I'm not sure, but these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible.
Not the word I would use to describe what happened here today.
Kazuma-san was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off of him the entire time we've been on board, from morning till night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I've failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector! So if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word.
Okay, can you give us permission to investigate? That'd be helpful.
We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer?
Of course. That was literally, I was literally going to say, of course not.
We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door. That stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two.
I think that's what don't worry. I think that's Susato's job. I don't think we need him for that.
I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Again. Because that's just my life. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive.
Oh, you mean something? Okay, well, in that case, I can show him the journal that proves that the next room has relevance, then we need to investigate it.
What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why...
Okay, well, I have that. I just had to show you the journal. I just had to show you the journal. Yeah, I get it. I know how to present evidence. I did it already once today. Just gotta present you the, journal. Or, sorry, diary. Same thing.
What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to show you is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we can investigate in there, we might be able to figure out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain?
I'm getting increasingly nervous as to why he's so consistently coughing up a lung and blood, and that, as a matter of fact.
I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do.
She's just so awesome! You know, honestly, I kind of feel bad, because my first thought, like, within the first seconds of the game, my first thought was the waiter definitely did it. Oh, by the way, that's something I didn't point out last time. I'm very happy that they didn't do the Apollo Justice route of your best friend who was going to defend for you but isn't defending you anymore is the killer. or the professor who claims to be friends with his colleague was actually the murderer. I'm glad they didn't go for the super obvious cop-out explanations that Apollo Justice went for, because that would have made it insanely obvious, and I'm really glad they didn't take the cop-out. I'm glad they actually had a proper culprit for the first case, so I didn't point out last time, but props to that. But yeah, that's the point of that.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move, we can leave this cabin at last. Move? Alright, let's see what we can find out.
Alright then, but yeah, so, yeah, like I was saying, I kind of feel bad that my first thought was that he was a bad guy, like, was the killer or traitor, but, you know, I rescind that initial thought process, because he's alright. He's alright in my book. Now, please don't betray me later. That wouldn't be very nice of you. Alright, I think that's a good place to end things off today. I don't want to go for too long for the investigation sections. I want to kind of keep them a bit shorter, since obviously there's not as much exciting stuff happening in investigation compared to the trial, so I want to keep them a bit more condensed. So I think we'll call things off here, and then we'll pick things up tomorrow with some more more investigation. So that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time to catch you all tomorrow for some more of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Goodbye.